Hello, this is Eddie Mac, Crime Through Time. I'm going to do a video today about William George Bonin, aka the Freeway Killer. This is going to be a two-parter because there's just so much information about it. I've got to write like 15 pages. So it'll be two parts. William George Bonin, aka the Freeway Killer, was a serial killer from, you guessed it, the US of A. Big up America. But you were crazy for serial killers in the 70s and 80s. You had Bonin, Randy Kraft, Whitaker, and Norris who I intend to cover in the near future. But I'm doing this on a Samsung A40, but I will be packing a full clip soon. Back to the beast. He committed the rape, torture, and murder of a minimum of 21 young men and boys in Southern California from May 1979 to June 80. On at least 12 occasions, Bonin was assisted by one of his 4 accomplices. He also suspected of committing a further 15 murders, described by one of his prosecutors as the most arch-evil person who ever existed, and he was right. Bonin was convicted of 14 of the murders linked to him in 2 separate trials in 82 and 83. He was sentenced to lethal injection. He sat in death row for 14 years before being executed by lethal injection at San Quentin State Prison. In 1996, Bonin was the first to die by this method in California. Bonin became known as the Freeway Killer as well as the Freeway Strangler. He shares its epithet with 2 separate and unrelated serial killers active in and around Southern California in the 1970s, Patrick Kearney and Randy Kraft, the scorecard killer. Bonin was born in Connecticut, January 8, 1947, the second of 3 sons, each of whom were 3 years apart. Bonin's parents were both alcoholics. His father was a machinist, an ill-tempered World War II vet and gambling addict who was frequently violent towards his wife in the presence of his children, and is known to beat his sons in his wife's absence. In contrast, his mother was an overbearing, codependent, and passive woman who suppressed from wild mood swings and who spent most of her free time at the French Club, a local bingo parlour, as her sons remained unattended at home or often moody and Bonin's mother seldom cooked for the family. Horrible but no excuse. Bonin's father frequently argued with his mother over money, and she finally got a job at a local Fred mill to supplement his gambling addict habit. In 1950, he gambled away her home in Andover, Connecticut, after losing a game of high-stakes poker, forcing the family to reside with Bonin's maternal grandmother. His pops would continue to spend the money on alcohol and gambling at local bars. Consequently, the siblings were severely neglected as children, with their parents seldom in the house. In spite of this dysfunctional environment, Bonin and his brothers were actively raised Catholic by their parents and baptized according to the church doctrine. They attended St. Mary's Catholic School, where staff repeatedly complained of Bonin's aggression towards other students absent from school, not paying attention, and an incident while burning his bike, rode his bike into a group of young girls. For this offence, Bonham was briefly placed in juvenile hall. After returning home, Bonham was reported to get angry with his parents than before the punishments, receiving constant complaints from various authorities and locals regarding Bonham and his older brother's delinquency. The parents, frequently neglecting to discipline their children, began to feel stress regarding the two other sons. On September 6, 1953, Bonham's mother placed Bonham, his older brother, in the Franco-American school located in Lowell, Massachusetts, ghetto. In an apparent effort to protect her children from the ongoing abuse in the home, but this Catholic convent was just as bad, known to severely discipline its house for major and minor breaches of conduct, with punishments administered including harsh beatings, stress positions repeatedly, pacing, staircases until exhausted, and partially drowning kids in baths filled with ice, heads dunked in toilets, and threatened by older kids with knives, as well as being left with hematomas on their heads and buttocks from beatings received by nuns. Despite these forms of mistreatment, contemporary reports indicate Bonham, as a problem child, was observed by officials to function well under the controlled environment of the House of Horrors. Smell a cover-up. I'm not condoning this animal, but let's say it how it was. They was tortured kids. It is a fact some abusers repeat the abuse on smaller, weaker people than them. Bonham recollected being physically assaulted and bullied by other kids at the orphanage before being rescued by a 13-year-old boy. You see where this is going? According to Bonham, the individual escorted him to the bathroom where Bonham agreed to sexual advances under the condition that the older boys were tied with a towel to make Bonham feel safer. Yeah, right. Man, that's what he was doing to people. He was handcuff the kids. He liked to time people up. That seems like a recurring theme, what he done to his future victims. Listening his bonds, they often tied up Bonham and performed fellatio before attempting to rape him and forcing Bonham to orally copulate him following the assault. Bonham vowed to never let this happen again, later claiming in life that no staff abuse had taken place. BS, maybe not sexual, but physical abuse for sure went on. Bonham confessed to being forced to punch a fence by nuns when he misbehaved, and both parents never visited Bonham or his brother, whom he was not permitted to interact with. His brother Bonham was to remain at the convent until May 31st, 1955, where he returned to his grandparents in Mansfield, Connecticut, known to classmates as a juvenile delinquent who was often in trouble and was bullied for his strange behavior, ashamed of his sexual attraction to younger children and male teachers. Bonham isolated himself from who he struggled to release one neighbor, obsessing that unkempt, dirty, and hungry, connected, occasionally provided food and clean clothes. In 1957, Bonham and his brothers were placed in the care of his grandfather, who was a child molester who had severely abused Born's brother and whom Born's mother suspected abused her sons. Yeah. On November the 17th, 1968, Born confronted 14-year-old Billy Jones in Arcadia, California at 9 p.m. while driving his mother's white station wagon, offering to take home the youth. The youth attempted to flee the vehicle in response to Born's repeated questions about homosexual. Born growled and squeezed the boy's genitals before disclosing his sexual motive and parking behind a closed shopping mall, retrieving the youth from his vehicle and handcuffing him. Born choked him in the parking lot before threatening to sodomize him and murder him if he did not comply with his orders. Born raped this minor as he pleaded for his life, knocking him unconscious during the assault. Jones then dumped at a park bench, who threatened to kill him if he returning home. If he talked. Returning home, Jones's mother rang the police. On November 26, 1968, Born picked up 17-year-old hitchhiker John Treadwell of Torrance, California. Born began asking him about fags and homosexuals before assaulting and producing a gun. When Born parked his motor car in a secluded area, he raped the young man before threatening to kill him if he reported Born. Claiming he had friends who was ripping avenging him if he told the man of Born the assault. During the assault, Treadwell was bludgeoned with a tire iron. On December 4th, 1968, it was reported to Torrance Police Department by 17-year-old Alan Privet that a man with medium-length hair and an olive complexion had offered him a ride before deviating from the highway and handcuffing the boy, who was extremely sexually assaulted. The boy in the vehicle while driving became angry before asking the minor whether he knew there was homosexuals in this world. 5 weeks later, on January 1st, 1969, Born offered a ride to 12-year-old Lawrence Bratman in Hermosa Beach, California. Ignoring the boy's pleas to let him go, he forced the child to orally copulate him, molesting and robbing the boy. Under threat of pistol, he then threatened to kill the boy if he ever repeated it. On January 12, 1969, at approximately 9 p.m., it was reported that Born had picked up 18-year-old hitchhiker Jesus Monge, offering him $20 for oral sex. When Monge attempted to exit, Born punched his stomach and chest before squeezing his testicles, handcuffing him and forcing Monge to give him oral sex copulation during the assault. Monge was threatened by Born, stating, "I'll rip your nuts off if you don't kill it. The victim was sodomized also. By this point, extensive efforts were being made by local police to locate a potential serial rapist that fit Bonner's description. On January 25th, 1969 at 2:30 a.m., an El Segundo policewoman confronted Bonner, who had frightened 16-year-old runaway Timothy Wilson present with him in his mother's car. Noting Bonner's frantic state and similar profile to the rapist, she promptly searched him and retrieved handcuffs. During the arrest, Bonner repeatedly advised her to incarcerate him before Sorbo insisted he was not responsible for his actions. He was indicted on 5 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of sodomy, 1 count of oral copulation, 1 count of child molestation against the 5 individuals he had abducted and assaulted, or in the case of the final youth, he had abducted, attempted to assault since the previous November. In each instance, Bonner had handcuffed or otherwise restrained before forcibly engaging in sodomy methods of torture, which included about the head of a tire iron, choking one victim and squeezing of his victim's testicles. Well, that was it. So I hope you liked that. It's a bit sick, but it's reality, innit? Hopefully the things will get better. But I'm gonna do part 2, and that's about the killings and that. So it is quite long still, but peace, love, and respect. Like and subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, let me know what's going on. Peace out. Bye. You made me feel the same way. What goes around comes around, that's what I always say. 'Cause